So Costco and Target dropped the coconut milk supplier because of forced monkey labor. All that and more on the Matt Clark Show. Welcome to the Matt Clark Show, where we talk about things that matter and where information is power. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you'll get notifications of when I upload videos just like this. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. You'll see what I'm all about. All right, everybody. I have a story that it surrounds coconut milk and illegal monkey labor. I, you know, I'm going to just play the story for you just so that you can see what I'm talking about. I can't even put this into my own words. All right? We're going to play this.
Costco is reportedly removing a type of coconut milk from its shelves after the overseas suppliers were accused of using monkeys to pick coconuts. PETA says it was in talks with Costco about forced monkey labor in Chalca coconut milk products. PETA says Costco cut ties with the company after hearing from thousands of concerned shoppers. PETA says a lot of people choose coconut milk instead of cow's milk because they don't want to support the cruelty of animals. PETA did an investigation in Asia and found terrified young monkeys in Thailand that were kept chained, abusively trained, and forced to climb trees to pick coconuts that are used to make coconut milk and other products.
Marvel Studios' first series has...
All right. That is truly remarkable. That's truly remarkable to see and read this story. How are you using monkeys to do your work? You know, and I'm pretty sure that there was some pretty cruel treatment towards the monkeys as well. You know, we see PETA jumped in there, and they said that thousands of shoppers responded, and they wrote the Costco and Target and I guess other big box stores to let them know that they didn't approve of that type of labor for the product that they love so much. And wow. Unreal. So looking at that story there, which is cruel, it's cruelty to animals. I don't believe in any cruelty to animals. Okay? I just want to let you know that off the bat. Let's compare this story of cruelty and illegal labor to animals and the response to, and we're going to look at the response to cruelty and illegal child labor to humans and the response. Okay? We're going to compare that. Let's pull up this story. It is coming out of the Business Insider. And this story actually came out in December, end of the year, December 31st, 2020. All right, from the Business Insider. All right. It says Apple discovered that Sunying Electronics, one of its Chinese-based suppliers, relied on child labor on multiple occasions, but still took 3 years to fully cut ties. Apple is back under the spotlight over labor conditions in its supply chain following an explosive report from the Information on Thursday that revealed new details about the company's reluctance to cut ties with suppliers who violate its ethics policies. Okay, so Apple products that everyone loves so much, the company knew that there was child labor going on with one of their suppliers, and they were reluctant to cut ties. This is Apple. It reads, according to the report, Apple learned in 2013, we're in 2021 now. Story broke in 2020. Apple learned in 2013 that Sunyin Electronics, a China-based company that at the time made parts for its MacBooks, was employing underage workers, and despite telling Sunyin to address the issue or risk losing business, Apple discovered additional workers as young as 14 years old during an audit just 3 months later. 3 months later. Even when Apple said, hey, if you don't change this, you're going to risk losing our business. And boom, 3 months later, they found out that they had 14-year-olds working for this supplier. But rather than immediately cutting ties with Sunyin for violating its supply chain ethics policy, which prohibits child labor, in which Apple claims are the highest standards, Apple continued to rely on the company for more than 3 years. For more than 3 years, Apple relied on this company as a supplier. Of course, Apple did not respond to a request for a comment on this story. Sunyin could not be reached for a comment. Not surprised at all. It says 10 former members of 10 former members of Apple supplier responsibility team told the information that Sunyin wasn't an isolated incident, and that Apple has refused or was slow to stop doing business with suppliers that had repeatedly violated labor laws or failed to improve workplace safety when it was workplace safety when it would have cut into its profits. Let that marinate for a second. Let that marinate. It's always about the money. Always about the money. Apple similarly refused to cut ties with Biel Crystal, one of its 2 suppliers of glass iPhone screens. Despite a consistently poor workplace safety record, Apple employees' own concerns and Biel executives, listen to this, explicitly admitting that improving safety wasn't worth it because doing so had actually led to less business from Apple. Because cutting ties would have left Apple with less financial leverage over its remaining suppliers. Lens Technology, according to the information. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Safety wasn't worth it because it would have cut into the business with Apple. Apple chooses to work with these types of suppliers. Biel did not respond to a request for comment. Again, not surprised. In an illustration of just how intertwined Apple has become with unethical labor practices, the Washington Post reported earlier this week that Lens Technology itself relies on forced labor from thousands of Uyghurs. I know I'm just totally destroying this word right here. Uyghurs that the Chinese government has displaced from their homes in Xinjiang. While U.S. lawmakers have proposed legislation aimed on curbing American companies' ability to use forced labor, Apple sought to weaken the bill. Apple sought to weaken the bill. The New York Times reported this last month, which would be November of 2020. It says Apple took issue with the claim, telling the Times that it did not lobby against the bill, but rather had constructive discussions with congressional staffers. Oh, wow. It says Apple has long been criticized over the labor practices of its suppliers, particularly in China, but increasingly in the other countries, including India, where workers at an iPhone factory rioted after accusing management of withholding their pay. Lastly, in November, Apple was also forced to cut ties with its second largest iPhone manufacturer, Pegatron, after discovering the company had violated labor laws by relying on student workers who were in practice doing work that had nothing to do with their degrees. One more time. After discovering the company Pegatron had violated labor laws by relying on student workers who were in practice doing work that had nothing to do with their degrees, Apple was forced to cut ties with them. That's the operative word. Forced. They were forced to cut ties with this company who participated in forced labor. Let that sink in. Let's think about it. People know this. There are no protests out there. There are no protests. Nobody is writing in trying to shut things down and telling Apple, hey, you need to stop doing business with these suppliers that participate in child labor, illegal child labor. So you see the stark contrast between animals and humans. You see, a lot of people don't like PETA. A lot of people don't like PETA. I like PETA's energy. I like PETA's approach. Maybe we can use that approach when it comes to human beings. Okay? The customers at Costco and Target and other big box stores, they receive letters from their customers saying, hey, you're going to lose a lot of customers if you don't cut ties with this supplier because they're participating in illegal animal labor. They got monkeys picking coconuts for them. Picking coconuts. And you see the result? But look at the result of when Apple continues to use suppliers who use illegal child labor. People keep buying Apple products. Keep buying Apple products. Apple comes out with a phone like every other month, but we see why they can do it. They got people, kids, babies working around the clock to get these products out. The worst part is that they know. They know. And they continue to use these suppliers. So my question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to write a letter? Are you going to be outraged at Apple? Let me know your thoughts. Or maybe not, because the new iPhone is coming out, or the new MacBook, or the new iPad, or the i this or the i that. That's coming out. So you having a electronic device, an overpriced electronic device, which is nothing more than a software upgrade, that's more important than what's happening with those children. Just give me your thoughts. Love somebody, but more importantly, love yourself. If you found this information to be helpful, if you found this information to be new to you, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you'll get updates on when I put out videos just like this.